It's Workplace Week here on Daily Planet. Tonight we look at a common problem for anyone who works in a large open office: distraction. So pay attention. We visited an office of the future that has all kinds of tools to help give you some privacy and, more important, let people know when you really don't want to be disturbed. Here's Jennifer Scott.
As a professor at Queen's University, Roel Vertegel's job may not be as hectic as that of many office workers, but he feels their pain. He knows that more and more demands have been placed on the white-collar crowd, so he and his team at the Human Media Lab are coming up with futuristic solutions to the biggest problem facing office workers today: distraction.
It's amazing. Wow, that's pretty good.
They demonstrated a scenario that's familiar to anyone who's ever tried to get some work done.
No, it's not. Come on, I get friends, bro. I never had.
Distraction doesn't just delay the task at hand. There's a cost to brain power, too. It interrupts your train of thought.
You're both best friends, you know, but I just happen
which isn't always easy to get back. It's something called recollective intent.
Recollective intent goes down from 90% to 60% with 15 to 40-second interruptions before completion of the task. So if you've ever walked upstairs and found yourself in the bathroom thinking, why did I walk upstairs? That is exactly the kind of problem that you face.
So the Human Media Lab has a solution, using specially outfitted headphones, a camera in the ceiling, and a magic panel called a privacy wall. Here's how it works. The worker wears noise reduction headphones, which are also equipped with a marker on top, one that is read by an infrared camera in the ceiling. His colleague wears one too. Their positions inside their cubicles are detected and mapped thanks to a special software. This is what's called their social geometry. When a colleague taps on the window, a slight click is heard in the worker's headphones, and he can decide whether to acknowledge it or not. If he does, he turns in his chair, a connection is made, and where there was once a wall, presto, it's now glass.
Are you working on the paper?
Yeah, actually I've been running it all morning, and it looks pretty good. I think it's almost complete.
The privacy glass is made of liquid crystals, which in their natural state align randomly, making the glass appear frosted or opaque. But when the two workers face each other, an electrical switch is triggered, and that voltage causes the liquid crystals to align so that light can pass through and the glass becomes clear. But the key is the worker has to trigger the whole thing, or perhaps not, if he chooses to work instead.
If a user wants to be left alone, essentially this wall allows him to have a closed office door. We used to, in the old days when we still had an office, open our door if we were available somewhat, or close our door if we weren't available. And now cubicle workers don't have that kind of freedom anymore. So this allows them to do that.
The team has come up with other ways to let people know when you're busy, like the eye blog.
So what we've got here is, of course, a camera right at the center of the glasses, and it's mounted so that the camera receives eye contact when I'm receiving eye contact from an onlooker. This the series of infrared lights here produces a red eye effect in people's pupils, kind of like you have when you take a picture and there's sort of a red eye in the photograph that you don't want. Well, we take advantage of that.
That eye contact triggers the camera to record the conversation.
So I'm going to come up and speak with Roel and have a conversation with him, and we're just going to make eye contact like we normally do when we talk with each other. And I'm just going to say a few things about...
Well, I can't see your eyes because you're wearing shades, dude.
Well, you can't see my eyes.
Within seconds, the video appears on Connor's own blog. That's short for weblog, a kind of real-time personal diary on the internet. The point is for other people to know when he's busy, like talking to a colleague or boss. And if he is, hopefully they'll decide not to interrupt him.
I'm sure everyone has had a point in their life where their cell phone has rung at an inopportune time. With this system, it's possible for somebody at home to take a look at my feed from my glasses and be able to determine whether or not if it's a good time to call me or contact me. As soon as I look away from whoever I'm having a conversation with and get back to what I was doing before, like some homework, they might be able to choose that time, think that that time is a better one to contact me.
You're very generous about your privacy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think privacy is overrated. I think it's
Another invention goes even further. How about letting everyone know how busy you are by giving them your variable heart rate and muscle activity? This system is called the Physiologically Attentive User Interface and works on the same principle as the iBlog, but gets a little more up close and personal.
There's a slight irregularity in your heartbeat, and we can measure that and use it as a means of determining your mental load, so the amount of occupation of your brain, and it also correlates to stress levels. The other one simply measures movement, and you can measure it. It's called EMG. It measures the muscle potential, so the electricity that's being generated by your muscle activity.
An icon on your own personal blog lets people know that you're in one of 4 states: relaxed, thinking, busy, or on the move.
So if you're really busy solving a problem, then maybe we shouldn't disrupt you at that moment. But the moment you relax is a perfect moment for that delayed email notification to come through.
The idea is for all your office tools to be connected to one system that will let people know your availability and protect your state of concentration. But will all this technology mean that you'll end up working harder? Not at all. The goal is quite the opposite.
Our point is as much to allow people to have downtime again as it is to make them more efficient. I mean, we can't, I don't believe we can continue to become more and more efficient. Like athletes, the world records, do level off at some point, and the improvements become incremental. And we'll get the same scenario here. But I would very much like people to be able to relax and not be productive so that they can actually recuperate.
He says these solutions are very expensive, so we won't see these applications in an office for a few decades. Still, it's a step in the right direction, and they one day provide some solace for those of us driven by distraction.